It's one. It's one. A lot more to come. Shout out our fans. Absolutely incredible. Thank you guys for showing up, showing love to all my teammates. We appreciate you. More to come.
A terrible lesson has recently been taught by the Chicago Sky. Caitlin Clark shouldn't have to wait 7 months to play hoops. Following her longest hiatus from organized play, Clark led the Fever to a thrilling 35-point victory with a historic triple-double that has never been achieved in a WNBA season opener.
Regular season is here, and we have no more time for flirting, folks. We have no more time. It's time to get serious about our business. And Caitlin Clark handled her business game 1. 20, 10, and 10. 20, 10, and 10. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, what do the kids say? Belt to ass. Oh, yeah. La cucaracha, la cucaracha. Indiana Fever destroy, obliterate, run out of the gym the Chicago Sky. 93-58.
The Fever's stifling defense, which kept the Sky to a pitiful 29% shooting percentage, Boston's interior dominance, and Clark's genius were all too much for the Sky to handle. Even though Angel Reese pulled down 17 rebounds, her and her team's performance was a complete failure. Not only did the Fever win, but they also made their presence known as competitors. We'll examine how, on opening night, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever defeated Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. A comment, baby goat over baby giraffe, below if you're having a great time with the Fever.
Come on.
They're going to make this rivalry come back, this manufactured rivalry, which, by the way, you guys, the Indiana Fever beat the Sky by nearly 40 points. They won 93-58.
7 months. Caitlin Clark had to wait for that long. Her last professional basketball game was 7 months ago. After her incredible debut season, skeptics have been questioning if she might improve in year 2 for the past 7 months. Angel Reese ran her mouth to anyone who would listen for 7 months.
Does it feel like it's been an eternity since you played a game that counted, or does it feel now that it's gone by fast?
It feels like it's gone by fast, yeah. Which I didn't know going into the offseason of how exactly it would feel. I feel like just yesterday it was January and I was itching for like this first game. I was like thinking about this moment, and I mean, you think it will take a long time to get there, but it doesn't. If you just, stay consistent in what you do and follow your routines and, you stay busy, it comes pretty fast. But yeah, it didn't feel slow. I feel like this moment has raced up on us.
For someone who has spent her entire life playing basketball, imagine how that weight must have felt. As concerns about Clark's game grew, the off-season dragged on. Could she get used to the physicality? Would she reduce the number of turnovers? Above all, would she be able to turn the tide and become a contender?
I'm excited to play, excited to get out there and play. I think it's different when it's the first one of the season. Like, you just are really amped up to get out there. A little anxiousness, but nothing I haven't experienced before. I think more than anything, just excited. I think once you eventually get in the building and you get here and you get in your routine of preparing for the game, you're pretty locked in. And honestly, I'm ready to go play right now. Forget warm-ups.
The pressure was only increased by the preseason. Although Clark had moments of genius, she also struggled with leg problems that prevented her from participating in certain activities. If she didn't perform well in her regular season debut, critics were waiting to attack. And in that initial game, who was there to greet her? The Chicago Sky and Angel Reese, of course. Let's face it, though, only Reese and the media view this as a rivalry. There is no competitor for Clark.
Rivalry is great for sport. Like, I understand that. I grew up loving rivalries. Like, I grew up in Iowa State. That's like a pro matchup in the state of Iowa. Like, I understand that. Or whether it was my high school team, like, I still hate our rival high school, Valley High School. Sorry, I'm sure there's a lot of people from Valley High School that love me and support me now. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys, but I wasn't your biggest fan. I didn't like the Tigers growing up. So my parents, my grandfather was the football coach growing up, and Valley was our biggest rival. It was the biggest class in Iowa. And I was taught to, growing up, if we were driving by the high school, to hold my breath because I couldn't breathe that air.
You could see that Clark was different from the first few minutes. The hesitancy that occasionally dogged her freshman season had vanished. No more overanalyzing or second-guessing. We hadn't seen her play with such freedom since her time in Iowa. as if she were in college again, controlling everything in her path. Her initial three-pointer went past the net with a splash. Pure, self-assured, and clean. The no-look passes that paralyzed defenders followed. She grabbed rebounds from players who were much taller. Nobody anticipated her defensive stops. It wasn't simply Caitlin Clark's skill. This was a message from Caitlin Clark. The Fever had a 19-point lead at the break. Already, Clark was teasing the past. In the first half, he had 7 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. What had begun as a much-anticipated encounter had turned into a spectacular performance that addressed every doubt regarding Clark's capacity to influence the professional game. It wasn't about the Fever's chances of winning in the second half. That was predetermined. History was the topic of the second half. Could Clark continue to play her outstanding all-around game? In the fourth quarter, she completed a triple-double with 20 points and 10 assists after grabbing her 10th rebound. In the history of the WNBA, no player had ever scored a triple-double in the first game of the season. Not Sue Bird, not Candace Parker, nor Diana Taurasi. In the opening game of her second season, Caitlin Clark accomplished something none of them could. The message was made abundantly evident as Clark controlled the offense with accurate passing and timely scoring. Her abilities had not diminished despite the 7-month wait. Her hunger had increased as a result. Not only had she returned, but she had improved. And that meant complete catastrophe for Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky.
Than anything, like as a player, you approach the game the same every single time, or you should. That's how you should approach every single game. You prepare the same way. You come ready to play, whether it's the team that's last in the league or the team that's first in the league. It doesn't matter. I think for the fans, it's great. They love it. And Chicago is the closest team to us. You know, we bus there usually, so I get it geographically. But I think for our team and our group, it's, we prepare the same way every single game. But I expect today to be an awesome game.
This is where everyone made a mistake. Nobody noticed the Fever turning into a defensive monster overnight, even though we all expected Caitlin Clark to fire up the scoreboard. The players from Chicago thought they were prepared for a shootout as they took the court. Rather, they entered a nightmare right away.
4 quarters, under 20, holding the team under 20. Steph said it, we were relentless, we played through possessions, but that physicality and that relentlessness, possession after possession, wears on a team. And then that was the entire game. They were feeling us every cut. We were talking, we were communicating, we were flying around, deflection.
The fervor spread like 6 defenders on the court from the first tip. Every drive encountered many defenders, every shot was disputed, and every passing channel was blocked. There was no rhythm or room for Chicago players to play. They appeared to be totally disoriented.
All right, y'all. Hey, good stuff. Okay, we did a lot of really good things. I thought our defense was really good, and when we had lapses, we played through possessions. All right, so we made things happen. Y'all, overall, just hell of a...
Aliyah Boston was the focal point of this defensive masterwork. With 5 blocks, she tied her career high and controlled the paint. It was nearly unfair what she did to her old South Carolina teammate, Camila Cardoso. In the face of Aliyah Boston's flawless timing and location, the 6 feet 7 inches Sky Center appeared utterly overpowered and unable to create any presence within. Boston changed numerous shots that don't appear in the box score, intimidating in addition to defending. The startling tale of Chicago's offensive collapse is revealed by the data. The Sky's field goal percentage, was a pitiful 29.1%. At 22.2%, their three-point shooting was much worse. They were unable to purchase a basket. Open looks turned into unique jewels. The pressure of the situation seemed to be too much, even after they received them. Do you recall Lexi Hull, the player whom Fever supporters adore for her determination and hard work? Off the bench, she became a formidable defensive threat. The crowd was chanting her name after she scored 9 points, pulled down 9 rebounds, and made countless hustle plays. With unwavering resolve, Lexi Hull battled through screens, swung her body around for loose balls, and interfered with Chicago's offense.
In transition. Clark, oh, what a look. And Hull lays it in.
Despite Reese's rebounding, why couldn't the Sky hit shots? Throughout the whole game, Chicago was forced into difficult shots by the Fever's well-coordinated defensive effort. Together, Boston and Clark scored 9 blocks. The Fever did more than just stand up for themselves. They were excellent at communicating, rotating, and supporting one another. Chicago appeared utterly destroyed by the end of the fourth quarter. They turned the ball over 17 times, many of them unintentionally due to the pressure. The Fever's unrelenting defense prevented them from executing even simple offensive settings. What had begun as a game soon became a message. Caitlin Clark and her supporting cast weren't the only members of the Indiana Fever. They were a cohesive unit prepared to stifle rivals on the defensive end.
Going to be the biggest news for the next 3 months. So let's talk about Caitlin Clark's hard foul on Angel Reese.
With less than 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter, let's discuss what transpired. In a scene that will be replayed 1,000 times this season, the tension that had been growing between Clark and Reese finally erupted.
Essentially, Angel Reese gets the ball, Caitlin Clark goes over, does a hard foul, commits a hard foul on Angel Reese. She falls to the ground. After that, Angel Reese gets up. She's feeling super spicy. She's charging at Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is walking away. Aaliyah Boston steps in and kind of stops Angel Reese. Courtney Vandersloot also steps in.
To prevent Angel Reese from making an open layup, Clark tried what she subsequently described as a simple take foul. Just a typical basketball move to stop an easy 2 points, nothing out of the ordinary. The officials, however, had a different perspective. After reviewing the action on the monitor, they upped it to a flagrant foul. Fans, pundits, and even players on the court were immediately divided over this judgment.
When you really watch the replay, something feels off. Angel came charging in like she wanted smoke, like she was ready to throw down. But here's the thing. If she really wanted to confront Caitlin, what was stopping her? Nothing. That reaction, the body language, it felt forced. Like she was putting on a performance. Fake tough, fake angry.
Every intense moment of what transpired was captured on camera. Reese turned to face Clark right away. As they spoke, her teammates moved in between them. Then, right in the heart of the conflict, Aaliyah Boston hurried to defend Clark. What caught your attention the most? Ree continued chatting while Clark just moved away to defuse the situation. Both Reese and Boston received technical fouls from the officials for their roles in the altercation.
And let's be honest, from that moment on, Angel Reese disappeared. Her impact on the game, gone. Caitlin, she was in her zone. It's like Clark didn't just eat the foul. She took over the moment, mentally and physically. So now the big question is, was that fire from Reese real or just for show?
This is when things start to get interesting. The Fever did more than simply verbally defend Clark. On the scoreboard, they reacted. Indiana launched on a stunning 12-2 run that completely destroyed the game following the blatant foul call. The confrontation seemed to turn a switch, causing the Fever to play even more intensely.
Nasty, back-to-back quarters with 13 points. Couldn't even get a quarter over 18 points. Oh, Chicago Sky, I had you overrated. Oh, how I overestimated what I would see from the Chicago Sky. The Indiana Fever took care of business today.
However, in the midst of all the commotion between Clark and Reese, DeWanna Bonner made 2 free throws to move up to third place on the WNBA's all-time scoring list. This genuinely historic event went unnoticed. Consider that. A true legend was subtly creating history in front of us, while everyone was preoccupied with the rivalry.
And the second free throw to Passer. And Joanna Bonner sits alone in third place.
There is no greater contrast. The Fever celebrated Bonner's outstanding accomplishment as a team while Clark-Reese rivalry videos went viral on social media. Their burgeoning chemistry and reverence for the game's past were evident in the way they came together to support her. That's all the information you need to understand how Clark and Reese differ from one another. A gamer attempted to personalize it. In the process, the other created history by making it about the team.
We wanted to open out the season, start off the season, letting everybody know this is a new team, and we have one goal. Did we play our best game today? I would say we didn't. The fact that we didn't play our best game and we still destroyed the Chicago Sky, gotta feel good about that. No Sophie Cunningham in the lineup, arguably the first person coming off the bench for us, not arguably, most likely the first person coming off the bench for us, no Sophie Cunningham, and we destroyed the Chicago Sky.
Social media went crazy when the final buzzer went off and the scoreboard displayed a 35-point victory. Fans were astounded by what they had just seen. Not only did the Fever prevail, but they also completely destroyed the Sky. Videos of Boston's blocks that sent Sky players' shots into the third row and Clark's seemingly impossible passes went viral on Twitter. It was a startling contrast. Admirers of the Fever rejoiced over a historic evening, while admirers of the Sky sat in stunned silence, expecting Angel Reese to say something. No one anticipated the one-sided beating that resulted from the purported rivalry.
Let's look at these box scores really quick. So Aaliyah Boston, 19 points, 13 rebounds. DB, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. So DeWanna Bonner also just moved up to number 3 on the WNBA's all-time leading scorers list. And that was actually probably my favorite part of the entire game. Like, that was such a cool moment. She stayed in a little bit later in the fourth quarter when they didn't need her anymore. They were up 30 points, but I was so happy that she got that moment. She hit 2 clutch free throws. Now she is number 3. That's such a huge accomplishment, and I'm glad that DB is getting her flowers. Natasha Howard, 15 points, 5 rebounds. Kelsey Mitchell, 15 points. Caitlin Clark recorded a triple-double, 20 points, 10 assists, and 10 rebounds.
Clark's post-game news conference demonstrated why her followers adore her. No trash talk, no fuel for the story of rivalry that others attempt to fabricate. Rather, she concentrated on what was truly important. She remarked, "I think we were disruptive," emphasizing the team's defensive advancements. She called Dana Bonner the strongest voice in our locker room and praised her historic accomplishment of moving up to third place on the WNBA's all-time scoring chart.
We were disruptive. I thought we came with a level of physicality. Anytime you can keep a team in this league to under 20 points in quarters, that's important. They didn't get a lot of clean catch and looks. Look, it wasn't perfect, but we played through our deficiencies. We played through our lapses in coverage. We played through mismatches, and we played with multiple levels of effort, and that's what it takes.
The unadulterated happiness that had been growing for 7 months was captured on tape inside the Fever locker room. Rookies were welcomed by veterans. In his moving statement, Coach White discussed raising the bar for the team. This went beyond simple joy following a game victory. This group realized they had the potential to be exceptional.
Congratulations. CC triple double. AB double double. Let's see Premier double double now.
Chicago, on the other hand, had a very different post-game scene. Angel Reese only said, "Basketball play," in response to the blatant foul. Refs did it correctly. Let's proceed. The margin of defeat appeared to have entirely startled her teammates. Clark herself appeared to recognize that the team was still developing, but she struggled to explain how a potential statement game turned into such a catastrophe. She said, I believe we're still discovering our chemistry together, but I mean, we just have so many weapons, and that's what's so great. The rest of the league might be terrified by that declaration. While their connection was still growing, the Fever triumphed by a score of 35.
What does a game like this say to the rest of the league? How does it set up for the season?
Yeah, I think we're just focused on ourselves. You know, you prepare every single night. I think that's the great thing about this league. And also, you know, you play and then you have a day and then you play again, and then you have a day and you play again. You have to be able to flush things really fast. You can't get too high, you can't get too low. You just got to stay right in the middle. So that's going to be the challenge for our group. You know, build from it, appreciate how we came out here and really played and competed tonight. But also, like, I felt like, you know, I know we put up 93 points and still won by 30, but I felt like there was a lot of ways for us to still improve. And that's what's exciting, too. Like, you know, and I think everybody's still hungry to go back to work and get better.
This was no longer a squad looking to get better. This was a team that now anticipated victory. Not only had the Indiana Fever returned, they had shown up as serious competitors. And the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese were only the first casualties in what would be a memorable season in Indiana. The Fever declared their presence as WNBA contenders after winning a game. Boston's shot-blocking masterclass, Clark's never-before-seen triple-double in a season-opening game, and a defense that made Chicago look utterly lost all contributed to the historic 35-point triumph. With only questions and a crushing loss, Angel Reese and the Sky left. After being completely outplayed in every facet of the game, all those disparaging remarks suddenly feel hollow. Officially, the 7-month wait is over. The Indiana Fever are back, and they've never played better. This victory wasn't limited to the first night. This was the beginning of what appears to be the most thrilling season in Fever's history. Comment "Baby Goat" over "Baby Giraffe" below if you're having a great time. To ensure you never miss anything, like, subscribe, and enable all notifications. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next.